4 days remaining before we head to our respective polling stations for local government elections. In the meantime, let's tell you what's making the news today, Thursday, November 8th. President David Granger is resting comfortably at an official residence following a series of tests by specialist doctors immediately following his arrival in Cuba on Tuesday, October 30, 2018. According to the statement from the Ministry of the Presidency, the head of state is receiving treatment at the Center for Medical Surgical Research in Havana. Clinical analyses are still incomplete, and it is expected that the Ghana Embassy in Havana will issue a statement when enough details are available. The head of state has responded satisfactorily to medical interventions over the past week and is recovering well. President Granger is assuring all citizens that he is receiving the best possible medical advice and attention. The president wishes to thank Guyanese for their expressions of concern. In the petroleum sector, Tiffany Rogers tells us that the Department of Energy is drafting a model product sharing agreement for future contracts in the oil and gas sector.
Director of the Department of Energy, Dr. Mark Baino, made the announcement at his first press conference since the department was formed in August.
We're designing a new model contract that will be used for future PSAs, as well as elaborating a model toolkit to allow for probabilistic scenario modeling of current and future PSA contracts.
The department is being assisted by oil and gas advisor in the Ministry of the Presidency, Matthew Wilkes, on drafting the new model PSA. Wilkes noted that the new model contract seeks to strike a balance in investment and benefits to the government.
When we're reviewing our new model PSA, we're going to review it to attract investment. Yes, we'll seek to get more revenue in a more progressive contract. But we've also got to bear in mind that, as Mark said, what's right for the deep water is certainly not right for shallow, because nobody has really explored that area, and for whatever reason it's not been very attractive. And onshore is basically an unexplored area. So we have to shape the contracts to attract investment, because that's what you're seeking to do, as well as maximize returns for government.
Dr. Baino said the new model PSA will build on existing PSAs with oil companies. For InfoHub, Tiffany Rogers.
Under the theme promoting partnerships for improving public safety, the Ghana Fire Service today hosted the first of 3 consultations on its strategic management plan. Paul McAdam has that report.
The first of 3 initial consultations at the Arthur Chung Convention Center attracted a wide range of stakeholders. Public Security Minister Kemraj Ramjatan stated that the government is aware and working to improve all agencies under his purview. These included the prisons, fire service, and Ghana Police Force. The need to boost skills and capacity was noted by the minister.
If we start today, we're going to get there earlier. And that is what we want from Guyanese. That is what we want from the individual efforts and the individual initiative of each and every Guyanese. And so it is important, coming back now to the topic at hand, that this collaborative effort, we in the ministry are going to support it so that it is going to integrate the efforts of so many units to ensure that there are beneficial results, far more productive results.
Minister Ramjatan reminded that all have a role to play, including the monitoring and evaluating of the proposed plans by the Strategic Management Unit.
It is what is going to lift this country out from where it was and to higher heights. And so I ask of you, in your deliberations here, that you will continue this task of self-evaluation, self-introspection, but also know that you have a Ministry of Public Security that is going to give you all the assistance that you want, and lots more in about 14 months' time.
Chief Fire Officer Marlon Gentle recalled the formal organizing of firefighting by the French in 1873, reorganization in 1945 after the Great Fire, the British Guiana Fire Brigade's formation in 1957, and its continuous development over the years.
It is necessary that we bring the stakeholders up to date with where we are and where we want to head, and at the same time encourage those stakeholders to, one, support the plan, and two, to come to the table with their ideas, suggestions, and whatever is necessary to ensure that this plan is all encompassing and embraces all of what we intend to see happen.
Gentle explained that the Strategic Management Plan initiated in 2014 and ratified in 2016 has had government's full support. He spoke of plans for new stations in the 5 new towns and additional equipment such as the fireboat and additional staff training.
Paul McAdam for InfoHub.
The USAID's Breakthrough Action Project is boosting efforts to eradicate malaria. Renetta LaFleur brings us the details.
The Breakthrough Action Project is designed to help the Ministry of Public Health reduce malaria transmission by developing tools for early testing and treatment. At an Insight and Validation workshop on Thursday, Minister within the Ministry of Public Health, Dr. Karen Cummins, said there is a resuscitated drive to eliminate the disease.
Of the 21 malaria endemic countries in the region of the Americas, Guyana is one of 18 which have committed to eliminating this disease by developing sustainably robust policies and strategies which are tailored to the needs of the country as well as the identified communities with vulnerable populations, such as those with miners and loggers who are engaged in activities of economic benefit, mostly in the 4 hinterland regions of Guyana.
Breakthrough Action is one of the flagship programs of the United States Agency for International Development that focuses on social behavioral change that will aid healthy practices. United States Ambassador Perry Holloway lauded Guyana for its success in fighting malaria between 2000 to 2015.
With a 58% reduction, congratulations, Minister Cummings, in cases from 2000 to 2015, Guyana has made excellent progress in reducing malaria. The partnership between the Ministry of Public Health, the U.S. Embassy, and our USAID team, PAHO, and the Global Fund to Guyana in fighting malaria has shown great progress, but we can't let up.
The Breakthrough Action Project was implemented in 2017 and is slated to conclude in September 2019. Renetta LaFleur for InfoHub.
Still to come, education officers being trained to use restorative practices in situations of discord. Stay with us.
Well, the local government is very improve your community. It's very good because you got the people that you can talk to who are in charge of who they put there. And you can tell them, look, we need the development, we need the drainage, we need, like some street to build and other fine things, you understand me? So it's very good for the local government action, you understand me? It's very, very good.
Welcome back. Education officers are being trained to use restorative practices to develop good relationships and revitalize a sense of community. Seneca Thorne explains.
The training session was facilitated by the Impact Justice Project, which seeks to improve access to justice systems in the Caribbean. It focuses on the use of restorative practices in schools and has trained over 1,000 educators across the region. Regional Director of the Impact Justice Project, Velma Newton, explained that the aim is to add the concept to the Teachers Training College curriculum following the training.
After this training session has ended, Ms. Dr. Hicks and Ms. Darianne Marsh should be in a position to train others and introduce restorative practices concepts into the curriculum of the teachers' training colleges and other places so that more teachers will be exposed and then you will introduce restorative practices into your dealings with children. We have already trained trainers in Barbados, Belize, Grenada, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and now it's the turn of Guyana.
Facilitator Patricia Lewis described the concept of restorative practices as a grassroots movement.
It's been described as very much a grassroots movement, and I think that's because the change, the significant change that happens at the local level, happens in your schools. So when we build those strong, positive communities in our schools that allow children to be and become the best that they can be, that's the real power of restorative approaches.
The Impact Justice Program is in its 5th year. It has been concentrating on the drafting of model legislation for the region, encouraging countries to adopt continuing legal professional development for legal profession, public legal education on a number of topics, and alternative dispute resolution. Seneca Thorne, InfoHub.
Trinidad and Tobago's tourism officer Andrew Welch says sport tourism is much bigger than sport and tourism combined. Isaiah Braffett tells us more.
Welch made a disclosure at the 3rd Forum on Sports Tourism held at the Guyana Olympic Association, Liliendal. He said that while Guyana is a new frontier for sports tourism, in order to capitalize on the opportunity, the country must prepare its people by including them in every aspect.
For tourism to work, we have to train the country. If we do train the country, again, the Asande syndrome, if we don't train the children about tourism, we have challenges. Training the children and not talking to the adults, you're bouncing your head on a wall. Training the adults and not taking it further to the full community, you're bouncing your head on a wall.
Director General of the Guyana Tourism Authority, Donald Sinclair, made a pitch to local sporting organizations to plan ahead in order to make the most of the upcoming events.
See, the whole idea is that we could create a sports tourism calendar. But you know what makes that task difficult? Last-minute planning on the part of some sport associations. It is desirable that come November 2018, you must know this is going to be happening in 2020. That tells us, yes, there is forward-looking, there is a vision.
The forum was held under the theme Growth Points in Sports Tourism, Challenges and Solutions. It also forms part of the calendar events for Tourism Awareness Month. Isaiah Braffett for InfoHub.
Here's a reminder that the ICT Women's T20 matches will begin tomorrow, with the first match being played at 11 hours at the National Stadium, Providence. That's all for this evening. Connect with us on WhatsApp, social media, and our website at dpi.gov.gy. Your bridge and weather reports are up next. Goodbye.